Hey, what's going on, everybody? What's happening? What's going on? Got another work break conversation. Let me get my audio for the podcast together and we will just go directly into it. I want to thank everybody for the emails, the love. Always want to be able to give the game, on these work break conversations. And today I want to ask really, are you accepting everything? Are you, the first business offer, the first person who has, a contract, and you're like, look, I just needed another gig to keep the machine rolling. We've all been there. But are you accepting everything? Because when you accept everything, you can't learn everything. For those who are watching on the YouTube, you'll see I'm going to go on the work break conversations to just checking out different things while I'm working. But I'm seeing that a lot of people are just accepting any and everything that comes to them. And that's not a good thing because you're not able to learn something new. You're not able to really focus on what your purpose is. You're just like, okay, they offered it to me. I'll take it. Let's go. That's a very bad way of expanding your purpose, expanding your business. You can't expand like that because a lot of times you're getting lowballed when you do that. And then you're like, why am I not growing? Well, you're not growing because you're not knowing the power of no. There's a power in no because you have to know who your client is. You have to know, where do you see yourself in 5 minutes, 5 days, 5 months, and 5 years? Not that you can control all that, but you have to at least have a plan and say, this is what I'm going to plan. This is what I'm going to shoot for. How do you get to the stars if you don't get something that can get you out of this hemisphere? So even people in dating, they accept the first person who comes and asks them on a date, and will ask them on a second date and says, hey, I want to come move into your spot. People are accepting any and everything. And a lot of times women, people see the vision of that being just women, but men too. The first woman to, lay with you and spend the night, you allow her to move in. You look like a chump, at the end of the day. And you don't look like you have too much value on yourself. So I say don't accept everything. And I'm not telling you don't accept the first offer because I don't know. I'm not a guru like that where I know what's going on in your life. But I do know if you just say yes to anything, you won't have anything. If you say yes to everything, you won't have anything. That even sounds better. That sounds like I might have, pre-wrote it, whatnot. But, this is all just freestyle, what's in my mind. Because I'm seeing, companies and corporations just, yeah, we want that. We want that. And they use these, usually these weasel words that I can't stand. And I put it on my Instagram. I put a whole list of weasel words you can see last night because I tell people don't use that on me. Only two things matter to me. Does your project interline with my progress? And I should say my purpose. And do you have the funds for us to make this happen? That's all that matters. Everything else in the whole backstory, skip me with that. Skip me with long backstories, long drawn out this and that. Everything is $1 million right now. Just like everybody's number one, just like everybody is, a guru and a life coach and a teacher. Skip me with the backstory. Show me how this matches up with my purpose, and then show me the money and send it. That's all you got to do. It's disheartening because you see that a lot of people, because it's so hard to get positive affirmation from people, that the first person to give it, you think that they're right just because they've lined up with what you are for. That's not how this works. It's not how this works, people. There's a lot of selfish people out there. There's a lot of people who are just trying. They're doing their best to take advantage of everything that you have. Um, and it's sad, but that's not going away, and they've always been here before you and I, and they'll be here after you and I. So you have to know when to say no. The power of no. There's been times I've said no, and people have come back with double the money. They said they didn't have it, and then they come back with double the money. I mean, they found it. When people really want your services, when people really want you as a person, they will do what they have to do. There's people who've kicked drugs just because they wanted to be with a particular person. They just cold turkey done. So I say all that to say you got to keep pushing. You got to know your value. And in knowing your value, people say, well, how do I find my value, and how do I know what I should be doing? That's a conversation for you and God. All the consultants in the world could get together, and we all could be wrong. And if you want help like that, there are professional help you can get, and you can definitely check us out at cprfirm.as.me. And sometimes people say, why are you talking the third person when you're doing these things? Well, when I say us, I'm running a company, I'm running a corporation. And if you go to that link, cprfirm.as.me, I have other consultants that are on there. Some you may know. One thing I don't do, or I try not to do, is just tell you everything that's going on in my life, because one, who cares? How can that help you? Two, I just for everything that I do put out, there's so much that's private, and the whole benefit of doing this is not to be known, it's not to be liked, it's to give the game the same way we do on Diversified Game, the same way if you hear me on any other podcast. We want to give the game off top, off top, off top. The game must be given. You dig? It must be, because there's so few people willing to give it. And I understand everyone needs to charge what they need to charge for their time, but school where you pay money isn't giving the game that you really need. This is just my opinion. And you know, once you get out of school, it's like you thought school was to teach you, and that's where you messed up. That's when you first need to come over here. But I'm seeing so many people fail before they even start. Why? Because they don't have that guidance. There's so much negative in the world. And if we can give you some positive game and tell you, hey, if you invest your money here, you can get this return. You can do this, you can do that. Hey, we're doing an investment here. You know, Nowadays you can tell someone I'm doing an investment in the Congo, and they'll be like, so I'm interested in that. Sounds good, but prove it to me that it works. I told you I was doing an investment, and you want me to prove that it works so you can get on it? Maybe the investment's not for you. See, even when people are offering you something in that way, it's like, nah. And the old school con artists, that's how they would start. They say, nah, you can't get involved in it. And then they'll tell you, oh, you know what? There's just an opening and blah blah blah. It's funny how the energy can bounce back once you know you can't get something. But that's the game. And we're here to give it. We're here to sell it as well when it takes more time. Talk to so many entrepreneurs every week in different avenues, and I'm just like, the future is bright. I just hope everyone gets their piece. Don't think that because you don't have $1 million today, you can't have it in 2 minutes. Don't think because you don't have a team right now that is supportive, that with the right move, I'm not even talking about money, but with the right move, you can get a team like that. But you also have to be open for that. And you have to know when to say no to certain team members and when to say yes. Okay? Because there's times that I see businesses and I want a piece of it. So I have to say, hey, let me analyze it. Let me go through your books. Let me see what these margins look like. And then it can be like, oh man, this business it's not gonna do what I need it to do for it to be worth my time. So that's the game. That's game in itself. You dig? So it's game. We're all just learning. And where you learn, that's your business. But my business is to bring it to you and bring you other consultants who can bring it to you, bring you that gizame, and try to do it under, 20 minutes because I know everyone's moving 100 miles per hour. Man, I appreciate everybody listening, tuning in. Like, subscribe. I think I got a meeting in a minute, so I better get off because somebody has booked some time. And it's time for me to shine and hook them up, whatnot, and go to my notes. Because we don't just give game off the cuff always. Sometimes we do, but I like to research when people have taken time to, book a session. So I'm out. Y'all be blessed. Like, share, subscribe. Tell me if there's something you want me to cover. And man, there's some great things coming up. I wish I could tell you what the future looks like. I can just tell you if you do what you're supposed to do, it'll be bright. Y'all be blessed. God bless. Peace.